Hi guys. I had to get a throat lozenge. My throat is killing me. So I'm back. We were talking about rentals and how you rent your primary residence. So say I saved, I tried really hard, I got all my money together, bought my first house, then I met somebody and decided, hey, we need more space. We want to move in together. I don't want to sell my house, but I want to rent it. So we talked about a few things last week. It's totally fine, no big deal. The lender doesn't care as long as you were planning on living there originally and things changed. So step 2, logistics. What do I do exactly? So first thing, I just had this happen to me on one of my rentals. You need to notify your lender. So a very real, for instance, that personally happened to me. I have a rental. I forgot to change the mailing address, and it's still going to the actual address. And the property taxes changed, and they changed my payment, and I didn't know about it until the renter gave me my mail, and it was 2 weeks late. So stuff happens. Of course, it's no big deal, but ideally you change your address to the new address that you're living at. 2, other big thing, change your insurance. So liability insurance is based on how often, as your principal residence, if you're hanging out there, you invite somebody over, they trip and fall and they sue you. That's what your insurance is for. Mostly that's what you're paying for. The liability for the lender and for the insurance company changes significantly if you now make a rental. So call your insurance company, tell them that you're making it into a rental. It's probably going to cost you more a year, but you're going to be real happy you did. Second, and third thing as far as insurance goes, make sure you get a rental rider. That's what they're going to call it. And then the other thing that I kind of talk about that people is kind of hot button subject in our area of the Cascadia fault zone, earthquake insurance. So what I've heard, and obviously I'm no expert, but if an earthquake happens, the odds are that FEMA might help you with your principal residence because it's where you live. But with your investment properties, it's probably unlikely that they're going to do anything. So if you have any earthquake insurance, I would make sure it's on your properties that you have as investments. And I do that as well. So if you have any other questions, of course, feel free to reach out. I'm happy to help you. But, then there's also the renting part. Just to go through that process real quick. Screen the people that you're going to put in your property. Don't make it a friend of a friend. Don't make it a cousin. Don't make it some guy you met that's so sweet, doesn't have a job. None of those things are good renters. So you want a stranger, ideally, because if you have to evict them, you don't want to have to be nice about it. You want to screen their credit. You want to do a background check, and you can do all of this stuff online. And you also want to use updated forms when you're filling out the rental contract. So there's this organization that I use called Multiforms Northwest. I am happy to give you a referral or help you process it if you want. But there's online organizations that can help you do the background check and then online forms that you can use. So highly recommend Multiforms Northwest because they're specific to Oregon, and Oregon's got all kinds of weird laws. Then the last thing and the worst thing, just so that you guys know, if you're making this property an investment property, City of Portland has passed some laws that are going to be super important for you to know about. Once you have a tenant in your property, you cannot evict them. You can't terminate the tenancy. You can't do anything unless they want to move out. If they move out, that's fine. They give you a 30-day notice. Everything's great. If you want them to move out, say you broke up with this great person that you met at the beginning of our conversation, and you want to move into your house, you have to give them a 90-day notice for any tenancy, month to month, 6-month lease, year lease, 10-year lease, doesn't matter. And none of this applies to commercial, just for the record. And then you have to give them what's called a relocation fee. It depends on how many bedrooms are in each of the properties that you're renting. The maximum up to 2-bedroom is $4,500, and that's once you give them notice to vacate. If you have questions about any of this, please reach out because there's some complicated stuff to discuss. My email, of course, Claire at Paris Group Realty, and my phone number, 503-998-4878. Have a great day, guys. And obviously, I'm happy to meet with you to discuss this if you're thinking about doing it. Talk to you soon.